Hello, welcome to the channel. I thought I would actually get around to doing a Zenny video because when you do get to endgame, you spend a lot. It depends on what kind of player you are. If you're just very focused and you know what you're doing, you don't spend much. But if you like me, you play around with a lot of different armor sets, a lot of different items. I'm spending thousands. So I thought I'd get around to showing you a run I've been using around the Elder's Recess. You'll see what I'm doing here is I'm just going to take all the items down to 20 so you can get an exact idea at the end of the run how many we've been collecting. Now there's a lot of people making videos on making Zenny in the game, and quite frankly a lot of them waste of time, because if you want to make a lot of Zenny then you might as well make a lot in pretty short space of time instead of just doing like fanning around doing fishing and stuff like that. The best place to do it is Elder's Recess, collecting ore and bones. And if you go with the Geologist, level 3, you've got an extra gather on the bone piles and the mining outcrops. And if you do a loop just collecting those alone, then that's fine. But you can get a lot of research points on the way around as well. So over about a 20 to 25 minute period, if you just run around collecting stuff, then you'll make more doing this than you will doing anything else. Pretty much guaranteed. There's a couple of other things you can put in there, like Master Gatherer and Forager's Luck. Detector to me doesn't really do much. I haven't really figured out how to use that properly, because as far as I'm concerned it's supposed to show rare things on the map, but it doesn't. So you just want to do an investigation. The best thing to do really, I think, is the Barnos. It just means that they're flying around, they don't hassle you, you don't have to kill them in the areas that you're actually mining. And I thought it'd be better to do a video, because it's quite easy to see as a visual guide, you know, where you're actually going. So before you go out, best off really to buff your health and your stamina with our super duper cat chef before we get going off. Now you want to go to the east camp, and if you look at the map, you're going to find there's either a Palico or Tail Riders near the camp. So if you click on that, let your fireflies help you, you can just swing up to the top shelf from the camp, and you've got one mining outlet right next to you. And if you drop down the hole, you've also got one here on the sledge and one below you. Now if you remember this little bit, when you get towards the end of the run, you can actually come straight back to the east camp, get these 3 mining ore bits, and then either carry on or go to the south camp. So I'll say that at the end of the run. So as you can see on the map here, from the east camp, basically what we're going to do is go down into the middle and then follow the map all the way around the edge. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can pick this up yourself, but there are certain points on the map. Makes it kind of tricky. You might even miss out the middle bit. Generally, I collect the mushrooms on the way around, but in this middle section, there's a couple of these little blue things on the side here that you can get a lot of research points from, particularly if you get the high level ones. You can get about 250, 260 per item, so it's actually worth collecting. The biggest problem you're going to have, I think, is Rathlos, is Beetlejuice. Those two are always flying around, particularly in the middle, but as you get further around, Rathlos is going to be in one little section. He's a bit of a pain in the ass. So this is where the south camp is, just on the right side of us now. You'll notice, particularly if you're new to the map, it's just down there through that gap on the end there. So you can actually spawn there and run down through this bit and just carry on around the loop. So once you've got that, you can turn around and go over to this. This is a very recognisable area in the game, and Beetlejuice is often quite standing around there, but you'll see it and you'll recognise it quite easy. And this is kind of where the run starts, so we just slide down the bottom I'm going to get these mining outcrops. Just want to try not to aggravate these flying verminous creatures, because they will attack you whilst you're down here. They're quite aggressive on this map. So as you can see here, we're getting them. The Fusium is the high level one. The Dream Core's gets quite a lot of money as well. It's worth keeping the sleep herbs and the herbs on the go as you go around. Just try and max those out as you're going around the farm. Because you can use the sleep herbs obviously for the power bombs. And we all need lots of healing in the game unless you're a master. I'm not. I'm probably more resourceful than I am at killing the other dragons and stuff. So that's our first bone pile anyway. Down this bottom area, there's two here on this corner. If you look at the mini map on the bottom there, you can just see, you know, you're running around this bottom corner. The first encounter with the Gastodons, you just want to kill the Gastodons, get the bone pile. If you want to collect the mats from the Gastodons, they go for about 750 a piece as well. It takes just a little bit longer to collect them, but it helps when they're all in one pile, because you can just collect them all in one go. So once you collected that Gastodon, we'll just carry on through this bit. But this is a bit where you've got to make sure that if you haven't done it at the beginning, you put your cool juice on. So you can take that cool drink. And it's very, very useful to have a flash pod. I will show you right at the end of the run there. There's a couple of instances where you do use them. And the ghillie mantle as well. I quite like using the bow because the insects are a bit of a pain in the arse. A bit easier to hit them. Now these amber deposits, you can get some pretty good stuff from these as well. But again, the research points, you don't have to collect them on the way around if you don't want to, but it just helps to get the research points boosted up. There is a trophy for 100,000 research points, and when you get to the end game, you start spending so much on the other things that you want, and it's pretty hard to keep saving them. So it's definitely worth getting these on the way around. When you start collecting this one here, just keep an eye out in the background for the lava worm. You see him poking his head out. He's a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes if he's slipping on you. But Rathlos probably is the worst. He will hassle you virtually all the way around the map. What a pain in the arse. You can actually go past the Gastodons without aggravating them. If you just run straight past them, it can take a little bit of time to kill. So this is where Rathlos becomes a bit of a pain, because it's this room in the top corner left here. It's on the southwest of the map. There's actually 3 of the mining nodes in here, and it's one of the good little places to get the mining ore. So you can get past without the ghillie mantle on the left wall, but once you get over to the other side, he will see you. That's when you use a flash pod. But if you've got the ghillie mantle, then it just makes it easy. Stick it on and run around this room. I mean, this is 12 items just in this little room alone, so you can't really miss it. Now the big reason for getting the extra palico or the tail rider on this map is because at the end of the video you will see they do collect a lot of stuff. My palico alone has had double the amounts on some runs. It's incredible the amount of stuff they do collect. Now at this point you could just go straight back to the east camp, like I said, and then just get those 3 mining points and carry on. It's either that, or you come back down into the middle. You've got the 1 mining point here. If you want to go all around this middle area, there's a couple more mining points. But the main point is just to get the barrel deposits, just for the research points. You've got this one here on the left, and there's one just over on the right hand side as well. just kind of wants to follow you all around, doesn't he? Rathalos. Here's him and Beetlejuice. God, oh my, they're always fighting on this map. So you can see here, I've just picked up one of the Abyssal Barrel. That's 260 research points, just one of them, so pretty useful. So this is basically coming around now to the very start of the run again. You just see these three things flying around. I mean, you can kill these on the way around, just to, you know, keep them tabbed up, save a bit of time later on. Depends on how long you want to go around, really. Oh, look at the little pussycats crawling underneath. So that's the end of the run, so you get here to the top of the slope, as you'll recognise. If you want to get more research points, you can see these frogs here. You can collect those on the way around. That's got a little bit of extra. As you're familiar now, we're back to the start of the run with those 2 mining points. So it's like I said earlier, you've got the Rathalos. He's going to be a pain in the arse around this area. If you just use a flash pod, quite often he'll, if there's something else in there, he'll just end up fighting with them. He might follow you in, but in this room here, if you don't have the Ghillie Mantle on, you can get this one on this wall, but it's when you come across to this one in the middle, if you can get away with it. I was just pushing my luck a little bit, but you can get away with just getting a couple of them before you come across. And then just going to roll out of it. Fine faction. And then just turn around, flash bomb in. It gives you just enough time to get that mining out properly. I think it came out. So you got to back up to the top. I normally finish on this top part, and with the extra 60 seconds I'll just go across and get all these frogs. There's 5 on the slope, so a bit of extra research points. And you can get about 3,000 research points just from doing the 3 runs. So what you do is you do 3 loops. Well, I've just done 3 loops, so you'll see the money from 3 loops. So the quest rewards, just make sure you don't cash all of them in, because you do get the armor spheres. Everything else, pretty much, just sell everything. So 12,000 from that, but you can see all the stuff that we've got here from the Palico and the Tail Rider. It's a lot of stuff. I've had a lot more on one run. They do their little bit, So 30,000 just from them. I've had about 50,000, I think, was the most I had in the one run. And as you can see, 3,000 research points. So a 25-minute run, 3,000 research points. That's pretty handy. So we go in, and we'll sell all the stuff like we did before. Just take it all back down to 20. There's 12 items in all that you get from the bone piles and the ore, the mining crops. And we'll just flick through them. And we started on 127, well, sorry, 1,255,000. 1257621 was the number. And as you can see, as we're flicking through these bone piles, that number's going up pretty rapid. Didn't get many of the unknown skulls. I've had quite a lot of those on previous runs. So we get to the Barna sides, and you can now see that it's gone up to 1,444,000. So that's 200k basically. 25 minutes. So if you can find a run that makes any more money than that on a run, as I said, I mean the end game costs a lot of money for making armor and upgrading. So it's definitely worth doing it now and then. Just to keep that money and buy all your gear. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.